Welcome to another episode of the Tunes and Tales podcast. I'm your host, Jay. As usual, if you've been following us for a while, you've been listening or watching for multiple episodes, I want to thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for, being a part of this podcast community. I appreciate it. I love y'all. If you're new, whether you're here on purpose, somebody told you to check us out, somebody, recommended us, or you end up here by accident. You're not supposed to be here, but you're here. Still, welcome to the Tunes and Tales podcast. This is a podcast where every week we have guests come on and share stories or memories or moments from their life and songs that remind them of those memories or moments. Welcome. Let's get into the notes. So as usual, if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at tunesandtalespod. You will see it right below if you're watching. Or you can follow us on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. That's also Tunes and Tales Pod on Twitter. On Facebook, it is Tunes and Tales Podcasts. And if you are listening, nope, I'm wrong. If you are watching and you want to listen to the podcast, on the go, going to work, doing errands, whatever you want to hear the audio version of it, you can find us on all podcast platforms. You will see them right below. That's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, all of those. If you're watching, just go ahead and hit subscribe for me. Help the podcast out. We're building something here, you know what I'm saying? Just hit subscribe because you're gonna come back. You're gonna come back. Also, if you are listening or watching and you want to share a memory or a song that reminds you of the memory, you can either hit us in the DMs on social media, or you can email us at tunesandtalespod@gmail.com. Again, right below. So let us get into this week's episode. This week on the podcast, our guest is Antone Gomes. He is a friend of mine with quite literally one of the funniest spring break stories I've fucking ever heard. If you watch this episode, you're gonna see me just absolutely cracking up. I think it's so funny, and I think it should be the plot line for another Hangover movie. Without further ado, I don't want to give it away, so let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the episode, Antone Gomes.
That third world country stuff, bro.
Third world country. How long were you there for?
I was there for a week. So all the houses were boarded up. They had barbed wire on them. It was crazy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so was it at a resort?
No, it was so he rented out a house, and the house was relatively safe. It had barbed wire around everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was just crazy. It had a private beach. It had a nice pool. It was nice.
Uh-huh. But it's this other shit going on.
Yeah, it's just way too much shit going on. To feel safe.
That's fucking hilarious.
Entirely.
So your first time in Honduras?
Yeah, it was my first time. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's fire.
It was cool.
All right, man, ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it. Okay.
All right. So what is the memory and moment you would like to share on today's podcast?
Yep. So the memory is 2017 spring break in the Bahamas.
Shit.
So that's the memory. It was pretty amazing. I went there with my rugby team. So we flew out. I remember when we first got there, we all it was already a couple $1,000s to get there or whatever. We get there and they're as soon as we pull up to the resort, they're you gotta buy this package in order to drink and party and whoop-de-whoop. Mind you, we're all in college. We're damn,
right.
We already spent everything on the flight to get here.
Right, already broke, bro.
Yeah, we're already broke. So we're fuck, all right, well, whatever, man. We're out here, fuck it. So we all bought like the club package or whatever. So it's like all inclusive drinks, and then they
Mm-hmm.
give you like when you go out to the clubs in different places, it's like all inclusive. Like you can drink as much as you want. So we like, all right, fuck it. Like we're out here, we'll get that. So we all
Right.
got that, and it was a nightmare after that. It was it's just everybody everybody was shit faced every day. Like started at like 9 a.m., like 5 p.m. Everybody's like gone.
Uh-huh.
Um, but the why I'm telling the story is because it like so I so like the first time we went out to like a casino,
Uh-huh.
and I ended up like we were shit faced, like we got shit faced early, so I ended up like doing as I do and like exploring because we were in Atlantis, so like I'm exploring
Oh, so
Atlantis.
it's like that. It's that place you had to, because I think I haven't been there, but I've seen it. Because what's the
Hmm.
capital of Bahamas called? Is it Nassau or something like that?
Nassau, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Nassau. Yeah. So there's like a bridge that takes you to Atlantis, right?
yeah, yeah.
So it's like its own little island thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yep,
yeah, yeah. Okay.
exactly. So we get over there and we're all fucked up. We're like, wow, like this is amazing. Like, and then we go in, like there's this big gold chair, like everybody's taking pictures, and that's pretty much all I remember. Like, we, then we like, I remember getting a cigar at the casino, and then somehow, some way, like I separated from the group and was like walking around. Ended up on the roof of the Atlantis, literally of Atlantis. So
Like of the
how it
hotel.
happened
Like
was like the
wait,
whole
wait, time out,
hotel,
time out, time out. Like the top of the hotel, like where nobody's
the,
supposed to be.
bro, the top of the hotel. So I'm like smoking the cigar, and mind you, you can smoke the cigar in the casino. So I'm like walking around smoking a cigar.
Mhm.
Next thing I know, I see like a door like open, and I think people had just walked out of it. So I like put my foot in
Right.
right before it closes, like, stop it, and I slide in there, and I'm like, I realize I'm on the roof, and I hear the door close behind me. I'm like, oh shit, like
Oh
go to
shit.
open the door's locked. I'm like, well,
Oh,
like
no.
bro, I'm on the roof. So I'm on the roof, like I'm looking around and I'm like taking in the views. Like it's literally beautiful. Like there's
So you're
like
not even panicking. You're locked on the roof.
no, not at this point, because I didn't really fully understand. Like I'm thinking like people are gonna come up and down. Like I'm thinking I'm gonna get out of it.
Right,
Um,
right.
and so I'm just looking around. I'm on my Snapchat, like whoa, you won't motherfucking believe, like and then I'm like, bro, like I'm like looking at my phone, and it was like four. No, it was like 2, 3 in the morning, and I'm like, okay, like
Mm,
I'm fucked up. Like
time to
I
get down.
probably try to get home. Like so, like I'm
Mm.
thinking, like I'm looking around for like a way out. Like I go back to the door, still locked. Banging on the door, nothing. I'm like, all right, like mind you, I'm like maybe 3 stories up. So I'm right above. So like I'm right above like the main entrance. So in the main entrance, there's pillars, so you can kind of
Hmm.
like the Roman like pillars, like how they have it in the entrance. Like it's kind of a
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so it's kind of like that. And I'm seeing like these big pillars, and they go down like it's like a cindular pillar, and it goes down into like a
Hmm.
platform like box almost, but it's like granite or something like that. And I'm like, like maybe I can like lower myself down from the top and like land on this little platform, and like I'll just hug the pillar on the platform, and
He's
I'll
about
just
to
jump
MacGyver that shit, bro.
down. I'll just jump down, bro. I'll be smooth, like no problem. So I'm like,
Fuck.
I'm like thinking to myself, like, yo, this is gonna work. Like, so
Oh my god.
I'm like, fuck, bro. So like, I'm hanging from Atlantis, bro, and I'm like looking down, and
Yo,
I'm trying to
this
like,
shit is crazy.
yeah, bro. So I'm trying to like get it perfect so I can like land on the little platform and then hug
Uh-huh.
the pillar real quick
And
so I
right,
can
and
jump
slide
down.
down. Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, bro. All right. I let go. One foot hits the platform. Other foot like this, bro. So now I'm like this, like I'm like bracing myself. I'm about to hit the ground.
Right.
Coming down hot, bro, like hot. Like, I hit the ground. I have my like, yo, I got my elbows locked. Like I'm
Uh-huh.
not trying to hit my grill. Like I'm like, fuck.
Right, right.
So I
Right.
hit the ground. Sure enough, my head goes down. Boom! Hit the,
Boom.
the
Right.
pavement. My tooth, literally, and to this day, I still have the scar. My tooth went through my
Uh-huh.
lip, like literally went through
Oh
my
my
lip,
God.
hit the pavement. I'm like, oh shit! With my tooth, I'm good, like
Uh-huh.
good. I get up, and mind you, like this is the entrance. So
Uh-huh.
there's like taxis there waiting, like people. So
And
people
he just
heard.
fucking came out of nowhere, nigga.
Yo, so everybody looks over, and I'm like, I get
Oh
up,
my God.
like, yo, so I pop up real quick, yo, taxi, taxi, like covering my mouth. Yo, yo,
Oh my fucking God. It's the funniest shit I ever heard in my life. Oh my God.
yo, so the taxi comes over. Well, actually, I walked over to the taxi, and he's like, oh, like, what the fuck happened? Like, he was like, I was like, oh, like, I was stuck on the roof, like telling the whole story. He's like, wow,
Right.
man, you're lucky to be okay. Like, I'm like, yeah, man, like, but my mouth is like, bleeding. Like, I'm literally like bleeding from my lip.
Right.
So he tells me, he's like, oh, just go in the ocean, like, put some salt water in your mouth, rinse it around, spit it
What the
out, you'll be good.
fuck?
So I'm fucked up, like still fucked up. And I get back to the resort. And mind you, the resort, our room was right on the ocean. Like, so you can open up the back patio and like just walk onto the beach.
Walk right out. Right.
Right out. So I just walked to the beach and I'm fully clothed. Fully clothed. And I just grab some water, throw it in my mouth, like swish it
I
around,
know
do the
that
whole
bitch
thing.
burn. I know that
Burn
bitch
like a motherfucker.
burn.
Burn like a motherfucker. So I did that. Go back in the room, and my roommate is oh shit, my computer's going crazy right now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, you good. Go ahead.
Okay, good. So my roommate, like, he's like, I'm dripping wet, by the way. Like, like
Mhm.
literally, there's a puddle on the floor. He's like, yo, what the fuck happened? Like, where were you? Tell him the whole story. He's like, what? Like, it was ridiculous. But anyway, that's pretty much the end of the story. Like, get back to the room. Everybody was like looking for me for a while too. So I had
Right.
breakfast the next day. I'm like telling everybody the story. They see the cut on my lip. They're like, at first they didn't believe it. And then I showed them the videos on my Snap story because I had the videos. They're like, oh wow, like you really did that. So
Yo,
yeah.
I swear to God, yo, if somebody came to me and said, "Yo, we're about to write Hangover 4," I'm telling them this shit because that shit's straight out of fucking Hangover, bro. That shit
Yo,
is amazing.
yeah, yeah. So
Oh my God,
shit was ridiculous, man. It was ridiculous. I to this day, I'm like,
so fucking funny.
wow, like I really thought to
Hey,
do that. Hey, it almost worked, but nah, not even
hey, at least you got down, bro. You'd have been up there all night.
I
Who fuck
know.
knows how long? That's fucking hilarious. All right, so you go through that whole ordeal.
hmm
Were you back at it the next night? Did you take the rest of the vacation
You
off?
know what?
What happened
The
after?
next night I was back at it, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I was at it until I crashed on Thursday. Thursday was the day where everything was like, yo, like my body couldn't take it, like everything. I just couldn't
Right.
stop. I had to stop drinking.
Body's like, all right, I had enough.
Yeah, my body was just like literally I was spinning all day. It was bad. So like I was like, okay, like
Yeah.
I can't drink. Everybody else was still drinking, which was nuts. But yeah, Thursday was the day where I clocked out.
Yeah. I mean, you just fell from a fucking roof. It made sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, the
It made
thing is,
sense.
the drinking kind of helped me not think about it, and because I was hurting, man, like I was hurting a couple of days, so I was like, let me goddamn let me enjoy this little trip.
Fucking yo. I've never fucking laughed so hard. Oh my God. All
Yeah,
right.
it was
So
yeah.
let's let's switch gears a little bit. So
hmm
I know you do rugby and you've
Yep.
been doing it for a while.
hmm
Kind of because rugby's not a it's not a it's not a top sport in terms of popularity.
Right.
Very interesting to watch.
Mhm.
So how did you get into rugby and find your love for rugby?
Yeah. So I started in college. So I had a buddy that I went to high school with who had gone to the same school, UMass Dartmouth, and he was a couple years older than me, and I had kind of looked up to him in a lot of different ways, still do. And he introduced me to the club, and he was like, "Yo, like you should come out and play." And I was like, "You know what? Like I don't really know. I kind of just want to feel things out. I don't want to commit to anything." And I went to a couple practices, and I was like, "This is fucking nuts! Like, there's no way I'm doing this." Actually,
They
no,
ain't
I
got no
didn't go
helmets
to
on, nothing.
nothing. I didn't go to the games. I actually went to the no. I went to the game, not the practices at first. I went to the games. I was like, "Yo, this
Hmm.
is fucking crazy. There's no way I'm doing this." Then I had another friend come up to me, and he was saying the same shit. He was like, "Yo, come out to the practice. You see what it's like." Whoop de whoop. So I go to one practice, and I'm like, after the practice, I just felt like I felt the camaraderie. I felt like I loved being on a team again, and I was just like, damn, like it felt good, but I still don't know.
Right, right.
So I still took like that. That was my freshman year. I went to one practice, and then my sophomore year, they were still trying to get me to come and practice. So uh, I missed like the first one or two games, I think, and then on the like third week, I started practicing with them, and then from there, it was just like, it was I never
I was
stopped.
just in love with it.
Yeah, I was in love with it, and it was mainly because of the guys on the team, and then also like the sport itself. Like you could just be very creative with what you're trying to do. Everybody touches the ball, everybody's involved. It's just like it was a lot of fun. So
Okay.
um,
So did you, while playing it, especially when you just got into it, was there any fear of like, sorry, so from the outside looking in, it's like,
yeah,
oh, it's just from an ignorant standpoint, it's just football without pads and helmet,
right,
right? So
right.
was there any fear playing like, yo, I'm about to get knocked the fuck out?
Yeah,
Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. There
Like,
was fear. There was fear, but at the same time, like I had played sports going like I played football, I played a lot of different sports, so I
mm,
kind of knew how to like protect myself in a way. Like I had just like naturally kind of know, even like skateboarding, like when to bail, when to fall, like in
mm-hmm.
order to not hurt yourself the most. And like so I would kind of do that. I would play like that. Like if I knew somebody big was coming in, like maybe I'd go down a certain way so that I know like they're not gonna like fuck me up. You know what I mean?
Fucking kill you,
Like
right?
yeah. And then as I would gauge that more and more, I was like, okay, like this guy is not like no one's wearing pads, so he's still gonna gauge how he's coming at me. You know what I mean? So you could play with that even more. So it was like as soon as he might start to slow down, and he might think that I'm gonna come in at him, and then I go the other way. You know what I mean? Or so. So I was just playing around with that a lot in order to kind
Mm-hmm.
of find the perfect flow, because obviously you're not wearing pads, so you know everything hit like everything you hit. Whenever you hit somebody, you're gonna feel it. They're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
feel it. So
right. You feel the
it
whole
was
thing, like,
you feel everything. So it was just like, okay, like how can I manage that in order to like stay effective and still be a weapon out there. So it was just
got you.
really, yeah, kind of finding out exactly like how hard I want to go every play.
Right.
Um, so yeah,
All
that's
right.
that's
So
the
you said you played football before in
Mhm.
high school. Would you say, as somebody who's played both, which one do you say is safer, quote unquote safer?
I would say rugby's safer. For one, with
I feel like
rugby,
that too.
yeah, with rugby, because with football you have the pads, so you think you're invincible. So you throw your body at people, you hit them in really unsafe ways. In rugby, you can't high tackle, so you can't tackle someone around the neck. You can only tackle
Mm,
them around the waist, and you have to
mm-hmm.
wrap them up and take them to the ground. You can't just hit them. You know what I mean?
Right. You can't just drive yourself into them.
Exactly. So it was more controlled, and that's why I think it was safer. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
hmm
Were there any dreams of going pro?
there were, yeah. Like so, actually, before I left Boston, that was like my whole thing. Like, I definitely wanted to go pro. Um, I was training for it for sure. Like,
Mhm.
it was just like my last season. I felt like I gave so much, and like it just like what I don't think the coaches really appreciated it. And at the time, I was just like, you know what, I didn't like what I was doing at work, and I just felt
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, I can't go another year like not really being where I'm at and
Mm-hmm.
still not like enjoying what I'm doing for work. Because
Right,
rugby
right,
was
right.
like 2 to 3 days out of the week. Work was every day, and so like I would try to manage that like by like training and doing things like that outside of work that I like. But it just I wanted,
It just wasn't aligning.
yeah, it
Right.
wasn't aligning. I wanted to go and chase something because I could go and play rugby, but still only make like 40, $50,000 most at that time. I know guys are getting deals and all certain things, but still, it's probably around the same amount. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to chase that, get hurt, and then be broke. You know what I mean? So
Right, right, right. No, it
that
makes
was,
sense.
yeah.
Yes. All right. So you mentioned before you left Boston. I mean, I know, but for the podcast sake,
Mhm.
where did you move to
So I
when you
moved to
left
Los
Boston?
Angeles. So now I'm in
And
Los.
how was that moving to that fucking crackpot?
So yeah, man, it was crazy. So like when I first got here, I was like, I had no idea what it was gonna be like, man. I'm like, yeah, let me just see what it is. So when I first get out here, I'm like living in a shared mansion with like
I shared what?
a shared mansion, a shared.
Wait, time out. What the fuck is a shared mansion?
I should just tell you a
I've never
story
heard
about
that
this
shit.
one. Yeah, so we get to the shared mansion, and it's basically like you ever watch Real World?
Yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah.
like a whole bunch of
Oh,
people.
like some Big Brother shit,
Yeah,
like in a
almost
house.
like so. It's like literally like 19 people living in the same house. It's a mansion.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was fucking
How
crazy.
does that work?
So, but like a lot. So the name of the place was called Mansion Mates. But one of the
Okay.
homies that was living there, he renamed it to Project Mates because yo, like we were living in a mansion, but there
Uh
was so
huh.
much drama and so much like for one, it wasn't always clean. It was like a lot of different bullshit. So yeah,
And sorry, hold on. Before you go, before you
uh,
continue, was it what's the age group? Was it like a certain requirement, like age restriction?
it
So
was
it's like
like
22 whatever year olds,
probably
or
like
just
20. Well, they had like 19. Actually, at one point, I think they had no. I think it was like 19 to like I would say 27 ish.
oh yeah.
So
So
it was
that's
like
a
kind of
recipe for just
a like a
fucking
decent
chaos.
gap there, but
Oh, he
yeah.
just froze. Damn it.
So and it was shared rooms too. So like um, you would they were like bunk beds. They're like 2 to 3 bunk beds in each room. So it was like, what the fuck? Like we all thinking we were gonna get a room. It's like nah, like,
Right.
and we were paying like $900 a month to live there. So it was like a lot of money for not like. I mean, it was nice because we had the pool and we had a mansion, but um, it was obviously shared between so many people. It was like, what the hell,
So there had to
you
be
know?
conflict. What was the conflict or conflict resolution like in that? Was it like a fucking council? Like, like how did that
Yeah.
go?
No, it was actually so
Oh
like we
shit!
would
I was
like get
joking,
to,
but
yeah, it
okay.
was nuts. Yeah, so like so they would bring it up to to like the manager. His name was Art. So they would bring it up to him. And most of the time before they would bring it up to him, like we would talk about it because there was an assistant manager. His name was Topher, and like everybody was like kind of really good friends with Topher. So we would kind of have a sit down, talk about it, figure out if we can have like a resolution amongst ourselves,
Hmm.
and go from there. So it was like, yeah, and that's there was like a lot of drama, and that's kind of how we solved a lot of it, squashed a lot of bullshit. But also like
Uh
there's
huh.
certain things that happen like you couldn't really squash. Like it has to be like it
A
had to
fight.
be talked about and let out of the group. So
Right.
um, yeah, so that's how the conflict resolution happened.
Jesus. All right. So mansion aside, what was it like moving to LA? Like,
Um,
cause the LA, at least in my eyes, the LA people speak of now is like fucking either famous people or homeless people
yep,
or like fucking, you know,
yeah,
the the bright light side of it or the
yeah,
fucking the low down
yeah. No,
like just
you're
fucking
right. You're
crime
spot
side of
on,
it.
man. It's night and day. I mean, it was night and day because for one, it's so different from Boston. Like I mean, when I first got here, I would go to Hollywood. I'm like, this is Hollywood. Like, there's shit on
What
the
did it look
street.
like?
It's obviously the Hollywood stars and everything, but they're not. It's not clean.
Hmm.
There's homeless people everywhere. It smells like piss sometimes. Um, it just didn't seem like the Hollywood that I had in my head. I didn't think it was going to
Right,
be.
right. Shit you see on TV.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like when I first got there, motherfuckers are coming around. They're asking me, "Yo, like, what's your Instagram? How many followers you have?" Like, I'm like, "What the fuck is this, bro? Like, are you serious?" Like, and they're dead
Like
serious.
that's what they care about is
Yeah,
their following.
like yeah. So no, that is real.
What?
Like, people really do chase clout, and I found that out quick. So
So no,
yeah.
that's really interesting. So if it's a thing
Mhm.
like you don't have enough followers, they have a waste of time like
Yeah,
networking
yeah,
with
yeah,
you.
yeah. So they'll look at you. They'll probably follow you, but okay, like on to the next, like, and unfollow you 15 minutes later, like. So it was just really
Wow.
superficial in that way. Like, that's not everybody,
Hmm.
but there are a lot of people that do that. Um, so yeah, I mean, and then going downtown LA and seeing that, it was just like, because I moved downtown LA thinking downtown LA, like we in LA, like no, no, bro, like no, it's pretty Skid Row-ish, like it's Skid Row right there. So
Hmm.
it's crazy, man, it's crazy. And then
So
the
how do
yeah,
you adapt to living there in downtown LA? Just knowing the stuff going on around you from
yeah,
a safety standpoint, or I don't know if you have a car or had possession. How do
yeah,
you protect your
yeah.
shit and yourself? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So I have a truck now, but originally when I moved down there, I didn't. I was I was walking. So I actually saved up enough money to like get a handgun. I have a handgun, like so,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just there's
Mm-hmm.
so much shit going on. Like, dude, like people, it's just you can't make it up. Like if you ever play GTA, like it's
It's
GTA.
fucking GTA.
But
That
like
is
times
see.
10 because it's like there's so many goddamn homeless people and they're like the Walking Dead, and like you
Mm,
can never really tell what they're gonna do. But I mean, at the same time, you can gauge them, you can talk to them, you can give them food and do things like that. But some of them, like the mental
interesting.
illness, is nuts. It's crazy. There's dudes like
Okay. So,
literally playing with their feces in the street and doing like
oh,
weird
get the
things. Like,
fuck out of here,
yeah,
dog.
one thing I remember walking down the street, the dude's got a needle in his arm. He's passed out with the needle still in his arm, like right in front of CVS
Gee,
downtown.
like just used it type shit.
Yeah, yeah. So it's gnarly,
Oh
bro. It gets
fuck,
crazy.
dude.
Yeah.
So you ever
I was not prepared for
you ever
that.
consider getting the fuck out of LA?
I have.
I, I heard I heard Texas looks great.
No, I have, but I just love it. I love it so much too, man. Because there's never a dull moment. There's so much to do. Like beautiful weather. It gets cool at night. Like so, I still love it. Um, and I'm on the west side now. I'm not still downtown. So I'm like when you're in different neighborhoods in LA, it's a completely different vibe. There's still homelessness over here, but it's not like downtown LA. And you're not too far from the beach. Like I'm like 10 minutes from the beach. I can ride my bike to the beach. Like it's
Hmm.
smooth. So it's hard to trade at the same time.
Nah, I feel it. I understand. I mean, I
Yeah,
would never move to LA, but teach his own, bro. Teach his own.
I
Cause
feel you.
fuck
I feel you.
that.
It's not. It's really
Fuck
not for
that.
everybody. It's a great
It's really
experience,
not.
though. It is a great experience. I would say come visit, but
Uh huh.
yeah, moving here is different. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. So, do you ready to jump into your song?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So we're gonna take a quick break and then we'll get right back to
So
it.
my name's Antone Gomes, and my song is "I'm So Groovy" by Future.
So groovy.
So, um,
All right. So essentially, what I ask all my guests is why that song.
yes. So that song, because when I got to Atlantis, like that was the song I was listening to. That was like my pump up song with rugby. So like that was like when I got there, that was all I was listening to. I'm on the beach. There's beautiful women everywhere. Like I'm like, yeah, I'm so groovy. I got Paris. Like that was my shit. So
Right.
like I'm just running it back. And then even after like the whole incident, like I call it scaling Atlantis. Um,
Hmm.
even after that, like I was just that was like my pump up to get me back going, because I was hurting for a little bit. So
So you just get up, pump some I'm so groovy, like I got this. Let's get through the
Yep,
day.
yep. That was getting me through it, man. Shout out to Future, bro. The GOAT.
That's fucking hilarious. Oh my god.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm so groovy by Future. Are
Mhm.
there any other songs that that you go to for getting pumped up, or is
Um,
this just that song?
I think there was Invincible was another one. I think that's by Future too.
Mm-hmm.
But those, I think those are the two songs. Like I was just like those, like I had
You
on
just bump
the
those.
whole time. Yeah,
You just bump
like
those.
because I mean, yo, and actually, Little John was there, so I didn't have to play my music. Little John was there, freaking like, bro, it was crazy.
Uh
Little
huh.
John,
Uh huh.
he was DJing on the beach, telling people like he was like, because girls were
Oh
getting
wait, at Atlantis?
yeah, at Atlantis, NASA.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, Little John was there. Actually, somebody tried to propose at the. I think they did propose at Little John concert.
How the fuck did that go?
I just remember there was I was so fucked up because I got in this tent and they had a whole bunch of handles, like a whole bunch of vodka, and I was just pouring my
Mm-hmm.
own drinks. But
It's just shots, yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. But the guy got on the stage and he literally, I think yeah, he from what I remember, he got on one knee and proposed. I don't remember what she said. I think she said yes, but I don't think it was actually, yeah. I
I
think she
hope
just
she
said
said
yes
yes,
in the
bro.
moment.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but yeah, it was a great time. Little John he was like, oh, if the girls get on your shoulder, like they got to show their titties, like so, showing their titties. Little
Some
John had
Little
him,
John
had him
shit.
rocking. He had him rocking, man.
All right. So, would you say? I mean, you know what? I'm gonna name this podcast episode "Scaling Atlantis." It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Would you say "Scaling Atlantis" is by far the funniest partying or spring break moment you've had?
It was a game changer in times like in what I thought were parties. Nah, this was different. This was completely different levels. So
It's another level.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you got to really come prepared. Now they got the liquid IVs. They didn't have those when I was back.
Oh,
So you know
what?
what I
Wait,
mean?
they
So
walk around with liquid IVs now?
well, yeah, they got the liquid IV. It's like the little it's like in a
Oh, the
pack. You
pack you
put it
pour
in
in
the
the
water.
water. Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
that, and then
Yeah.
well, we were drinking the Pedialyte, so thankfully we got those. But still, you definitely gotta prepare, man. It was,
That
you'd
is
be down and out
fucking
for the whole week.
crazy. 100%.
Yeah,
Muscle spasms and everything.
all that. So
Muscle spasm and everything. All right, man.
yeah.
So we're towards the end of the episode.
Hmm.
What I like to do towards the end is I would like to play this game called On the Spot.
Hmm.
So pretty much on the spot is where I ask you three different scenarios, and you have to give me a song that goes along with those scenarios. Songs off the top of your head, hence
Okay,
on the spot. You know what I mean? You can't think about it too hard.
got
All
it.
right, so let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. First one, sunny day on the beach.
Slightly stupid. What is that called? Rising the sun, sun rising, something like that. Closer to the sun.
Closer to the sun. Is that the name of the song?
Closer to the sun by Slightly Stupid.
By Slightly Stupid. Gotcha. Never heard that. Woke up and your car got broken into.
Feds is watching.
That's just watching. I say no more, fam. All right, last one. In the locker room before a rugby match, in the locker room before the Rugby World Cup final.
Ooh, Tea Time.
By who?
Isn't that by Drake? Tea
Tea Time by
Time.
Drake. Never heard. I mean, you might be right.
Shit, I
Tea
think
Time by
it's
Drake.
by Drake. Tea
I
Time,
mean,
like
we'll
I
find
got
out.
whatever. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
All right. Cool. All right, my guy. That's really it. The camera is yours. Anything you want to say to the people before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I just want to say, man, like, thank you for having me on. For one, I remember back when we were working in Boston, like we had talked about doing a podcast, and I like to
Yeah.
be in it, to see it manifest is dope, like really
Appreciate
dope.
that.
So,
Yeah.
Nah, just thankful to be here, and hopefully I can jump on again, in the future.
Oh,
So
100%. Let me tell you something. You keep climbing fucking casinos. I
yeah,
got you, bro.
say less. More stories to come. More stories to come. I'll break down Honduras one day too, so we'll get there.
Nah, but all jokes aside, bro. I got we next season because
Mhm.
this is first season of the podcast. Next season, I definitely want to come to LA and do an episode in person.
Yes,
100%,
yes, please,
100%,
please, bro.
100%.
Just
So
limit
that's gonna happen,
anytime, bro. Anytime, just hit me up. Be in the town,
and
show
I'll
you
pull
around.
up.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
definitely staying though because you didn't fucking crackheads out there, bro. Nah, I'm
No,
good.
it'd be crazy.
I'm
It'd be
good.
crazy. But then they kind of keep their distance. And on the west side, it's not too bad. So
Right,
downtown,
right.
I'll bring you downtown. You'll see downtown. It's different,
Uh huh.
different world.
It's
But
crazy out
west
there.
side is
Yeah.
not too bad. Yeah.
All right, bet. All right, my guy. It was good talking to
All right,
you.
bro.